Thanks for joining us. Now, Independence presidential candidate in the 2016 election, Jacob Osei-Yeboah, says residents of Adenta and Medina will not relent in their resolve to have the abandoned footbridges on the stretch fixed as soon as possible. And Mr. Osei-Yeboah joined over 100 residents to march from Was to Adenta SDA Junction. He said they will not allow government to take them for granted anymore.
It's an issue to do with life of people. We are not saying that the road is not good. What we are saying is that the road is killing people, like ground squirrel. In Akanda, they will say amokuya. Yenya mokuya. Human beings are not like ground squirrel. That should be killed. More often than not, knocked down by cars, no. So what happened last Thursday and its ramifications, behind the scenes, the government has promised to try and fix the bridges. Okay, as at now, you can see that the street lights are on. Some are on, others are not. The traffic light that news has gone around saying that it's been fixed. All of you were at SDA Junction. That traffic light has not been fixed. So we are telling the government that once they've promised us, they should make sure that they fix this traffic light within that 10 days. And this will calm the youth. You saw what happened at the SDA Junction. They became agitated because news has gone around that the traffic light has been fixed. We don't want a situation whereby those leading this peaceful demonstration would be seen in a different light. Okay, they've done very well. And let me take this opportunity to also thank Ghana Police. They've done very well professionally. You know, initially news went around that this demonstration wasn't coming on. And so when we came here, they didn't even want us to embark on it. We had a discussion and they understood that at least we need to dissipate the energy in them. So let's walk up to SDA Junction.
Now, leaders of that march by residents to drum home their demand for abandoned footbridges to be fixed say they are willing to assist contractors, if need be, to fix the bridges. The group has been marching along the Adenta stretch following last Thursday's accident that sparked spontaneous riots. Selon Brantier, who is one of the conveners, believes their action signals a positive defiance that should serve as an example to other communities with road challenges to rise and speak up.
Well, we have done the major momentum of the march has sort of dissipated. But then it's, you know, Ghana being what it is, although we wanted to do it very early in the morning, it looks like more and more people are also coming, also because probably of what they are hearing on the media and all, because there was a problem with the leadership where the agitation towards the march was almost being scuttled by other people who wanted to sabotage the movement that we had.
How was that?
Well, I would not want to go into details right now. All I would just like to say is that the unity of the Medina and Adenta people has trumped any negative tendencies that were trying to scuttle what we're trying to do. The message is loud and clear. I am sure that today we have the attention of almost all the decision makers who matter in terms of our road infrastructure, in terms of our national security, in terms of our socio-economic well-being. At this moment, I just want to express my sincere thanks to all the citizens of Adenta and Medina who came here to come and join with us, because it is a collective cause, and in unity there is strength. Now they are going to take us serious and follow any kind of promise that they made. And we as citizens are going to follow what the president said when he said we should be citizens and not spectators. We are demonstrating our ability to be inclusive in government decision making, albeit in a manner in which might not be palatable to some of the decision makers, but it is important because all these engagements are what mature society to a certain level where the government and decision makers are accountable to the people who elected them and put them in those positions to serve us.
Now, in sharp contrast to the situation on the Medina Denta Highway here in Accra, where residents are protesting the failure to complete footbridges dotted along the stretch, a footbridge at the KNUST junction in Kumasi is said to have been made a white elephant. House residents at Medina and Denta are eager to have their footbridges completed to stop the carnage on the highway. Pedestrians in Kumasi are said to be still risking their lives to cross the highway there 3 years after the footbridge was completed. Nana Sensubenta has been interacting with some road users on the use of the footbridge.
So previously, there were lots of road accidents happening here at Tech Junction. Then authorities decided to construct this footbridge to help reduce the number of road accidents occurring here at Tech Junction. But after the construction of the footbridge, some pedestrians still prefer crossing the road without using the footbridge. Then again, city authorities constructed this wire mesh to prevent pedestrians from using this side of the road. Then they still walk all the way from where they're supposed to use the footbridge to where the wire mesh ends and then cross the road. Now the question is, why has it become so?
It's a possibility, but as I said, because of the traffic, so you don't have a lot of fast-moving cars, so people find it relatively easy. So you find even a lot of old women with walking sticks trying to cross. And I don't know about the casualties, but I don't think they are that high. And I agree it's dangerous, and I mostly try to use the footbridge. But then, as I said, when the car brings you over here, it's much more easier. Like it just hits you to just go over, since you can quickly get to your destination. But
it is very dangerous when crossing the road, but for me, I find it difficult to walk all the way and climb the footbridge.
I find it difficult to
The footbridge has helped reduce road accidents at this spot. Some pedestrians are stubborn and they still won't use the footbridge.
Nana Asensumensa reporting.
Dark and gloomy. Perhaps that is what best describes the state of illumination on major highways in Accra. A drive through the capital shows a poorly lit city with broken or malfunctioning streetlights. For many motorists, this questions government's commitments to road safety. Ernest Menu took a drive through the capital and now reports.
It's 8 p.m. and night has fallen. We set off from our Kukumlemle office and joined the Tesano Achimota Road. We then moved to the N1 highway, and the brilliantly golden light looking down on the streets makes night driving such a delight. But as we approach the Tetekwashi interchange, the light fades gradually and we are ushered into a realm of darkness. It's like day and night. The Tema motorway is undoubtedly one of the most important road networks in the country, but today, not a single streetlight on the entire 19-kilometer stretch is functioning. It is very easy to think of overtaking, overspeeding, or even drunkenness as major causes of accidents on our roads. But have you thought of poor illumination? The Accra Tema motorway is one of the busiest that connects to different parts of this country, and yet the entire stretch, even though there are poles, the lights are simply not working. Motorists are unhappy.
If you don't have proper illumination, you could get some accidents. So it's of a great concern to every motorist. The thing is, when you are not too familiar with a particular road and you don't have proper illumination, maybe you are likely to For example, if there are potholes on the road, it could just disturb your driving. I just encountered someone coming from Kaneshi, and I nearly got stuck in a very big pothole. You know, it looks like we are getting to a point where we accept it like that. You pay, you know nothing will be done, but you have no obligation to stop paying, so you continue paying. But we pray and hope that things will change, because once we pay, we expect that we'll have good roads, we'll have good lights and all that, so that we can help avoid accidents.
For commercial drivers especially, the poorly lit highway makes paying tolls a painful act. They want government to fix the street lights.
If your car develops a fault on the motorway, you could easily be attacked. So if the street light is working, it will help us. So government should fix this. There are many cars that use the motorway. So I believe the tolls collected will be enough to fix the lights.
But the situation does not persist on the Tema motorway. The stretch of road from Laboni through La and some parts of Teshi, especially around the Peshi Lagoon, remain dark. The only source of illumination is from shops, offices and 4 stations dotted along the streets. So if the Electricity Company of Ghana is still deducting money from my electricity payment for the provision and maintenance of street lights, which areas in Accra are benefiting from the compulsory customer support? Ernest Menu for Joy News.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has assured authorities and students of Laura Senior High School in the Upper West region that his government will continue to support them and other senior high schools in the country to deliver quality education. At the 50th anniversary of the Laura Senior High School, several challenges were penciled, including inadequate dormitories, lack of assembly hall and fence wall. This, President Akufo-Addo said he has set in motion the procurement for the construction of a new assembly hall for the school. Joy News' Upper West correspondent Rafiq Salam reports from Laura.
Inadequate dormitories, especially for the girls, resulting in congestion, incomplete fence wall, resulting in students skipping lectures and going out of school at will, and lastly, lack of assembly hall, which forces students to stand in the open scorching sun, were 3 key challenges that students and authorities of the Laura Senior High School penciled to President Akufo-Addo as threats to conducive learning at the school. Like a lactating mother will quickly offer to her crying baby, President Akufo-Addo made the following offers.
On the occasion of the school's 50th anniversary, I want to announce that I have set in motion procurement processes under the Ghana Education Trust Fund for the construction of a new assembly hall complex for Laura Senior High School. And I've already directed the Regional Security Council to liaise with the District Security Committee, the Laura Traditional Council, and the landowners to address the issue of the school's boundaries as soon as possible. Again, Laura has been chosen as one of the 20 locations for the establishment of state-of-the-art technical, vocational, and educational training TVET centers in the Laura traditional area. Let me also inform you that Brifo Senior High School, which falls under your jurisdiction, is being converted into a model school. With the construction of dormitories, a library, an administration block, a science laboratory, and a dining hall. And finally, in fulfillment of my campaign pledge to complete projects initiated by the predecessor government, I'm happy to announce the government is in the process of completing the Bodouine Senior High School block.
President Akufo-Addo who is the first sitting president of the country to visit the school and its 50-year history, paid glowing tribute to the founding fathers of the school, a special Hispania headmaster.
I want to commend particularly the first headmaster of the school, Alhaji Rahim Badamusi, for not only laying a strong foundation for the growth of this school, but also for his significant contribution to formal education in Ghana. Under his watch, and that of successive heads, Laura Senior High School has succeeded in producing thousands of students who are now occupying various positions of importance in different sectors of society. The list, I'm reliably informed, includes academics, engineers, medical doctors, bankers, and politicians from all sides of the divide.
Paramount Chief of the Laura Traditional Area, Napo Wole Kabo III, spoke of the benefits that the people derive from the establishment of the school.
The establishment of the school brought secondary education to the doorstep of many children who would otherwise have been denied because of the inability to travel to Nabrongo, Tamale, and beyond because of financial difficulties of their parents.
Deputy Minister of Roads and Highways, a member of Parliament of Laura, Anton Inyo Abefakabo, elaborated on the benefits the Ghanaians stand to gain on the implementation of the free HHS policy.
The policy of free senior high school, Mr. President, has lessened our burden. My colleagues, members of Parliament, will attest. Our common funds are now being channeled to helping tertiary education. Well over 400 students have benefited from free senior high school from last year, and well over 300 more have benefited from this policy.
The Golden Jubilee of the school was marked with the theme "Honoring Our Past and Creating Academic Excellence for Ghana's Future." Some distinguished personalities were given awards for their contribution to the development of the school. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam, Laura.
We stay with education, and panelists at a breakfast meeting this morning put together by Graphic Business and Stanbic Bank have advocated the taxing of the rich to help fund the free senior high school education policy. Now, sustaining the policy has been a major debate among stakeholders who have been upbeat about sacrificing the quality of the country's education at the expense of satisfying a political promise. Though praised by many as a good move, there are, however, concerns about the government's ability to sustain the program in its current form as the sole financier. Here are some speakers from this morning's breakfast meeting on the matter.
Contributing to the nation than those who are down there and cannot afford should have free education, and those who are the upper end of the scale must pay. My view. Yes, sir. I also talk about independence for schools to do their own things. And if Stanbic sees my curriculum or what I want to do in the framework that the government has set, and I'm really training my kids well, and they want to give me money to continue to do that, they should feel free to do so. And school managers must market these within the accountability structures that are set.
I believe that in order for us to meet the requirements and the challenges ahead, we need all to contribute. And I talk about bringing the infrastructure in through partnerships with the private sector. Science labs need to be modernized. The labs that we have in our schools are antiquated. We need modern, smart labs in order for our kids to compete with the Koreans and the Singaporeans. And the government can't afford it. The Ghana government can't afford it. So we need partnership with the private sector to bring in these things. How do we structure them? That can be discussed. Of course, parents have to contribute. I know that the GES is averse to parents' contribution. By telling parents don't make any contribution through fees, you are putting aside 60% of all that they need to make those schools run. For what reason? I haven't seen around the world any school, boarding school, where you go to for free. I haven't seen it, except in Ghana today. How do you tell somebody, go to Wesley Girls, go to Infantipum, eat 3 times a day, but don't pay anything? I'm worried about that. I am concerned that in our haste to provide free SHS, we are not taking into account all the principles that we should be. There's nothing wrong with taking from the rich to pay for the poor. There's nothing wrong with it. The Bible even supports that. So where parents can afford it, let us do it. So by
You're still watching Joy News today. I am Daniel Daze. Still up ahead, the documentary All to Play For will be seeing a preview of that. Now, stereotyping in the Ghanaian society is depriving many girls of the opportunity available to them in the billion-dollar football industry. However, some few girls are braving the odds. Gabrielle Smith will bring us that story. We'll be back shortly. Don't go anywhere. Thanks for staying with us. Now, in most traditional settings in Ghana, sporting activities are thought to be just for boys. Girls who pursue sporting activities, therefore, face lots of resistance and hostility from all angles. In our upcoming documentary dubbed All to Play For, Joy News' Gabrielle Smith tells the story of 13-year-old Princess Ando, who is unfazed by all the stereotypes keeping her from her aspirations of becoming a celebrated footballer. This is part of our build-up to the 2018 Africa Women's Cup of Nations ALCON, which starts on Saturday, November 17.
Reactions to girls playing football from peers and older people can be wildly different. Take Princess, for example. I asked her about reactions she typically gets from her friends because she plays football.
They encourage me, and they also, when I do something and it's not correct, they also correct me.
This morning, is that okay? Yes. All right, nice one.
But has she ever encountered negative feedback because she does not behave like most other girls her age? Apparently she has. And believe it or not, it was from someone you'd think would know better.
Yes, one of my teachers said it to me.
One of your teachers told you that you are wasting your time?
Yes.
What happened? Tell us how it happened.
She said that every day I don't like sitting in the class. Every day I'm outside, I'm going to play ball. So I'm not getting I don't like staying in class. So I should stop playing football because it's not good.
So when she said that, how did you feel?
I feel bad. And I feel sad too.
But you didn't stop playing?
No.
Why? Why do you continue playing football even though your teacher says you are wasting your time?
Because of my coach and my mother. I want my mother to see that the school that I'm going is not just like playing, but I want to play like Ajobayo and I want to play like Ajobayo.
Indeed, because sporting activities are very much seen as exclusively for boys at many levels of the Ghanaian society, young girls face serious pressures to stay away from the playing fields. And when they insist, there's usually a pushback.
How do you deal with the stigma around you?
Yeah, what I do is I just don't mind what people say about ladies playing football. It's a game, and if you love it, you just need to do whatever your heart tells you to do.
The full documentary comes off tonight at 8:30 p.m. here on the Joy News channel. Don't miss it. You're still watching Joy News today. I am Daniel Dazen. Now, the Rotary International Club President Barry Racine is confident that with only 27 recorded cases of polio in the year 2018, the fight to eliminate the vaccine-preventable disease, which often leaves victims paralyzed, has become very possible. Fighting polio is one of the key projects of Rotary clubs all over the world. In Ghana, Rotary clubs have embarked on several vaccination exercises to prevent new cases.
What we said is we're going to end polio as soon as it's feasible, and we would hope that 2018 was the last year. But what's happening in Pakistan and Afghanistan make it more difficult, because right along the border we have a conflict area, and although we're immunizing the children at the transit points between the countries, and we're catching most of them, but because of conflict we're not catching them all. So we have had 27 cases of polio this year already. We don't expect to, I mean, we'd love to say this is going to be the last case this year, but we don't really expect that. We think it'll go into 2019. But we're very confident that we will complete the job and we will eradicate polio off the face of the earth.
So watching Joy News today. Business is next with Odelia Ntiamwa.